Welcome to the Sperm Donor Show. I'm savvyjinx with the painter and the twig. And today we have a great show coming from Oak Street Studios in an undisclosed location. I guess we got some things to talk about as far as great drug trips and greed. So we might as well kick it off, man. I heard you were doing snow angels out there in the middle of the street one time.
Yeah,
what was up with that?
That's basically that's the low light of the shrooms. But you know, I just had some really good trips. You know, just talking on the break about one time, me and my girlfriend, we were shrooming, and back then I listened to a lot of Doors. Doors are like one of the psychedelic favorites of all time. And I had just gotten the box set just specifically for shrooming that night. And there's this song, Celebration of the Lizard, 17-minute song, just a total epic. And, you know, we rented a hotel room and this and that, and my wife was like sitting on the ottoman. And,
so you had your girlfriend and your wife there?
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
Nice.
No. But, whatchamacallit, she was sitting on the ottoman. And,
she was your girlfriend at the time?
Yeah, girlfriend at the time. And, you know, this song, Celebration of the Lizard, came on. I had never heard it before. And somehow, some way, song came on, and I was singing it word for word, and about 2 or 3 minutes into the song...
Did you have your shirt off with some beads and
no,
twirling around?
No,
like
not
Morrison?
Yet. But it did turn into that, and it was totally like I channeled Jim Morrison somehow, some way, whatever was going on. And my wife was like, my girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, girlfriend at the time.
How many times have you done shrooms up to this point?
5, maybe 6.
Okay, so you were a grizzled veteran.
I'm under the legal insanity limit. But I was given this performance, you know, just singing it word for word, never heard the song before.
Using a dildo like, as a mic.
This is crazy, you know? And my girlfriend was like, I'm on a raft floating in the ocean. And I was like, dude, that's some crazy shit, you know? I'm Jim Morrison on stage in front of fucking 20,000 people right now. I don't know what's going on.
You weren't even paying attention to her? You guys are just like
she's on vacation.
No, she was in the audience, you know? Yeah, she was off in her own space, and I was just giving this performance, and, you know, Savvy joked about it, but the shirt came off and doing the rain dance and all this kind of shit, and I mean, it was just a great time. But Painter and I were talking outside about how shrooms is one of those mood accentuating drugs, and you got to do it in the right company. Yes. And
imagine that.
Some of my girlfriend's stupid friends were like, don't look in the mirror, all you'll see is blood coming out your eyes and your nose and your ears, you know.
Don't say Candyman 5 times.
And you know, she looked in the mirror. She looked in the mirror and she started tripping out because she saw herself bleeding just based on the suggestion alone.
That's all it is, man. I mean, like when it comes to psychedelics, you're not going to really see much that isn't there. I mean, I think that's where people watch too many movies. You know, I've done acid, I've done shrooms, and I really never saw little men running around or anything like that. I mean, you may see some accentuated colors, you may see stuff melting, you may see some stuff out of the corner of your eye, but you know, I never had a bad trip. I think the worst trip I had, I was on acid. This is probably the last time I did it because I got paranoid. Me and my buddy were tripping out, and cops pull up in front of his driveway, and his apartment was set up where he was on the 2nd floor, and one of his walls, you know, to the street was all glass. So the cops pull up. You know, first of all, we're tripped out. We're smoking weed. We're on acid. And it was, all we saw was flashing lights. I'm like, oh, God, they're coming to get us. But why? Why would they come? We weren't loud. We weren't bothering anybody. But, you know, the drugs took over. And next thing you know, I'm in the bathroom freaking out, looking in the mirror, talking myself down off the ledge. And It was just they pulled someone over. Basically that's all. They just pulled someone
it.
over and they were writing them a ticket.
Damn, man.
But see, I was so effed up on acid, I was tripped out. But I think the best time on shrooms, I like shrooms best because it's natural. Like acid is man-made.
It's chemical,
and
right?
Yeah, you can just stick with the shit from the earth.
Right.
But if you're gonna do shrooms, kids out there, make sure you have some weed too, because that makes it 10 times better.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, you guys are drug addicts.
When you start fading and coming down off of shrooms, you take a hit, and it's like the first 10 minutes again. I mean, you're right back up.
Yeah.
Have you ever done it?
No, I've never done it. The worst I've done is smoke some amazing, like, marijuana, the kind where you don't want to take more than 2 hits, because you take more than 2 hits, and
I haven't smoked weed in
yeah,
probably 6 years, almost 6 years, and if I took 1 hit of the weed they have now, because I know the weed back when I was smoking was getting really good. It was really good weed, but now it's probably ridiculous. Now it'll be a lightweight.
If you smoke a full joint now, and especially if you don't smoke it on a regular basis, man, you'll be gone for 2 days, I think.
You guys are lightweight rookies, because I used to be the pot smoker. There's the pot smoker in every crowd, but at the wedding that I talked about the other day, my friends who don't usually smoke anymore decided to take a hit, and they ended up splitting a bowl in 3 hits, and both of them were like, I'm cool, and I'm like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? You barely even had 1 bowl between 2 of you, and you're fucking high? Man, I'll take a joint to the head. I couldn't take a blunt, but yeah, I was addicted to weed. I am a weed addict, and I'd sit there, smoke 2 bowls, and be perfectly fine. Wow. And I'd be like, you know what, that tasted pretty good. So let me have a 3rd, 4th, and a 5th right now.
But see, you're like already high. So at that point, it's like you're wasting the weed because you're already high. You're like smoking yourself sober, pretty much.
Oh, you don't know how much weed I wasted. I mean,
you tolerate it, because one of the last times I smoked weed, I took a couple of hits, and I sat in that room, and I was convinced I was a brick. I don't know how the fuck anybody thinks they're a brick. I'm just laying there. I couldn't move.
There's different kinds of weed. I guess there's weed that makes your head. Like, it's a head high, and then there's the body high. You probably had the body high weed.
The indica and the sativa.
See? Weed doctor.
Ooh, yeah, you know
to the weed doctor segment. Yeah. Now, the best trip I had on shrooms, it was, I was living in San Diego, and me and a girl I was dating at the time, smoking some weed. She's like, I have some shrooms. We're like, yeah. So broke the shrooms out, and we watched Natural Born Killers, which is a fucked up movie to watch anyway. Shrooms, it's even more fucked up. So we watched that movie. We ended up in her bedroom just hanging out, and some people came over to her apartment, and we're hanging out. Next thing you know, I'm so effed up off this. I'm explaining how everything's a conspiracy, how the mafia makes money, how they stayed in business for so long. I'm just like going on this tangent. I'm like holding court. There's like 6 people in there.
Holy shit.
And they're like, yeah, that's crazy. And I was just on this whole tirade of who knows what, man. Like Twig said earlier, how he was Jim Morrison. I was like Jesse Jackson or something. I was somebody.
I wouldn't doubt that Jesse Jackson is on that shit all the time. But anyway, go ahead.
No, that's it. That was a great time. Another time we were camping outside, and everyone says when you shroom, be outside. That's the best. Be with nature. And so we were 4th of July. We were all camping and smoking, and I sat in a chair, and I'm sitting up looking at the smoke go past the trees, and I saw one of those. It was like one of those medical videos where it has microscopic camera looking at veins, and I'm watching all the blood cells too, and that's what I was seeing. I was like, holy shit, this is unbelievable. But I got to be responsible. Got to be a man. I can't really shroom around my daughter, my wife, or anything like that. So I'm cool. All I can do is talk about the glory days.
Yeah, good times have definitely passed, but it is definitely better outside.